Namaste and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss why do we suffer from procrastination, laziness, lack of boundaries and many other issues, and we'll discuss the causes of them as well as the problems. So I request you to watch the entire video. Let's dive into it. Hi, let's get back into why do we suffer from procrastination and laziness and the similar issues. So to understand this entire idea of why are we suffering from inaction, right? Inaction, lack of taking action. The cause is there is a problem with your masculine principle. So what is masculine principle? You must have come across this particular, thing called Taiju. You must be knowing about yin and yang, and you must have heard about divine masculine and divine feminine energies. When I say masculine energy, when I say feminine energy or principles, I am not talking about men or women. Because both men and women carry both the masculine as well as the feminine principle. The yin as well as the yang. If you look at the yin and the yang, the white is represented by is representation of the masculine, the black is representation of the feminine. Now, I had some females asking me, why does the black represent the feminine? Now, when you say, why does the black represent the feminine, and you have some judgment about it, I hope you do understand that you are judging a color, right? So please take back your judgments and let us understand it deeper. So everything in the universe that is operating on the physical realm comprises of the masculine as well as the feminine. As a Hindu, as a Hinduist, I can also tell you about the entire idea of a shivling, right? When you look at the shivling, I'm sure a lot of people already know about it, the fact that it represents the union of the masculine and the feminine, right? The one that is protruding upward is the masculine, and the one that gives foundation to it is the feminine. Right? And in the same manner, the feminine actually represents the dark, the unknown. It's like the root system. And the masculine represents the shoot system, which is out there in the open and visible to everyone. So the feminine, while the feminine is the healer, the masculine is the action taker. So the feminine may provide a fertile ground for the birth. However, the feminine cannot birth life alone, right? So you need a man and a woman to produce a child. Neither of them can do it alone. And it's the essence of everything in the world that has a masculine as well as a feminine principle. You can actually compare it to the proton as well as the electron. When you talk about twin flames, they're actually the representations of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Okay, it does not mean that the divine masculine does not have the feminine, the divine feminine does not have the masculine. And that is why I say this video might be very helpful to twin flames as well. So those divine feminines who are watching it with interest, let me tell you, if you awaken your divine masculine inside you, that will definitely fasten your pace of reunion, because your divine masculine will be helped wherever he is. So coming back, what do these two energies represent, and why did I talk about the problems that erupt because of there being problems in the masculine energy? The masculine represents stability, structure, courage, focus, decisiveness, action, then rationality. Then, the sense of safety and security that you have is provided by the masculine. Confidence is represented. Expansiveness, okay? Not just to be happy in this much, to be able to expand, right? And there are many more qualities. Frankly, if you get into it, you can, you can just Google search and ask what are, logic. Logic is one of the main qualities of, the masculine principle. What does the feminine represent? Obviously, we'll deal with it in a much better way in my next video, which will be about the feminine principle. You can think about creativity, you can think about healing, you can think about nurturing, you can think about intuition. All these things are feminine principle. So why did I say that procrastination and laziness are a problem with your masculine principle? They are a problem with your masculine principle because if your divine masculine energy within you, the yang energy, the white energy in the taiju, if it is blocked or if it is toxic or wounded, okay, then you're liable to have all these problems. For a human to live a harmonious life, the human requires a balance between the masculine as well as the feminine. So let's understand, how do we come to know that there's a problem with your divine masculine principle? There are a number of symptoms, okay? First of all, we have already talked about procrastination and laziness, lethargy, which represents inaction, not taking action, because the divine masculine is all about action taking, right? The inability of becoming a leader, taking risks. Now, both these things are also, can be seen in a person who does not like to or does not want to risk into commitment phobic people. They lack the divine masculine qualities. That is why they are commitment phobic, because they do not want to take any risk. They do not want to be the leader. In a relationship, between a man and a woman or any two people, both are the leaders. Both are representing one side of the connection, okay? And if you talk about other ways, if you lack divine masculine qualities, or if you have blocked, wounded, toxic masculinity, the principle that is, you'll be stressed out. You'll be that kind of a person who says yes to everything. Oh, yeah. So to your boss or to someone else, okay? So either you have surrendered your control, you're totally in control of the other person, or you're a control freak. No, I want everything in my control. Everything that's going to happen is going to happen according to me. I need perfection. All those kind of things are a problem with, a suffering masculine principle. You always put up a very happy face, whatever you may be feeling inside. You don't want to be your authentic self. You cannot say, I am feeling sad, or, I'm having problems. Then, you're not ready to take risk, as I already said. Then, you suppress your emotions quite a lot. And this bit I will also cover in the feminine principle. You suppress your emotion. You think it's like really weak to be, expressing emotions. And there's one really very, very important point which I really wanted to talk about here, is objectifying women. Now, some of you will say, Arunima, didn't you say that we are talking about both men and women? But men objectify women. Men are not the only people who objectify women. Let me tell you, women themselves objectify women. Why do I say so? Now, when men objectify women, the darker forces, now I don't want to get into that, what are the darker forces in the society? However, I will be able to tell you that the darker forces in the society get men intoxicated or addicted to things like porn, wherein they think of women only as objects. They think these are entities only meant for sensory pleasures, right? That's directly saying objectifying women. But what do women do when they talk about objectifying women? What do I mean by women objectifying women? Now, frankly, what you're wearing has nothing to do with, objectification of women. Why are you wearing can tell you whether you objectify women or not. Wearing lesser clothes has nothing to do with objectifying women, but wearing lesser clothes to impress someone else or to gain social validation, or wearing more clothes so that you cover yourself up, is also, in a way, you are not expressing yourself to the fullest. Objectification of women is also done by a lot of women who think that if I'm going to dress less, or if I'm going to dress in this particular fashion, then maybe I'll have more male admirers. So the entire idea of attention seeking is what actually judges whether you are objectifying women or not as a woman. Okay? If you are happy with your body, and if you really want your body to be fit, I'm not trying to say that you should overlook your sexuality. I'm not trying to say all those things at all. I will be the last person. Once upon a time, I was a feminist. But what I'm trying to say is, if you wait for validation from without and not within, then you are a woman objectifying women. One very big quality of, having a blocked or, toxic masculinity or wounded masculinity is you have a problem with giving. Either you give a lot Oh, I'm going to give everything out. Or you don't give at all. No, I will not be the provider. Now, this can also be actually seen in families where the man is not wanting to put in a lot of effort into bringing in the amount of money or the amount of abundance which is required within the family. Or the kind of man who is going to sacrifice his entire life and give it away to his family at the cost of his own happiness. Both these things actually talk about problem with masculinity. Okay, so it's like wounded or toxic masculinity. What can be done about it? So what are the solutions? How can you work through it? Let's talk about it. The first thing that we need to really take care of, even though I said these are going to be simple things to be done, simple does not mean quick and easy. Okay, they are simple. You will be able to understand what I'm saying. But it may take you a long time to work through it. The first thing that you need to do is you need to heal your father wound. Now, what is a father wound? If you go for inner child healing, you will be, made to confront your father wound. A father wound is a wound or, an emotional, psychological, spiritual wound which has been given to you in this lifetime or in previous lifetimes, because I'm a past life regression therapist as well. So I'll be able to tell you, by a male member of your family. It may be your father directly. It may be a person who's like your father, maybe your uncle, maybe your elder brother. So, like a father figure. If you've had problems with, one such person, you need to deal with that. You need to heal that. You need to forgive that person. And that requires a process. That requires a big process. If you resonate with this, please do go and find out about it and heal it right away. Take out time for it. I cannot talk about how to heal it because that will be a very long session then. As men, even Freud talks about it. He talks about all these complexes that men suffer with their own father. If the father has been abusive, if the father has not dealt with the mother well, or if the father has been too controlling. So this man who is growing under one such toxic masculinity will either become just like him if he does not have a very strong feminine principle, or will become completely different, a very healthy kind of a male who wants to be a giver, who wants to be a caretaker. It all depends on what kind of a feminine principle he has, because remember, the feminine is the healer, right? So you need to work with your father wound. You need to heal your father wound. The second thing which is very important, which may not be well understood here, I'll try my best to do that, is to connect to your higher self. Now, what is your higher self? Your higher self is the best version of yourself, which is one with God. Okay, which is one with God. You can think of it as Christ consciousness or Prophet consciousness or Gautam Buddha consciousness, whichever consciousness you want to feel, Nanak consciousness. If you're operating from a religious, if you're embedded into, religion. So it is like that version of you. You need to connect with it, because it's something like, and I remember, one of my favorite YouTubers, Aaron Doughty, talking about it. Like, it's something like the higher self is out there on top of the mountain and trying to guide you. Take this path, then take this path, because he can see, the higher self can see from there what is the path, but you cannot see because the mountain is so high. You cannot see very clearly. So the higher self is the best version of you, which is like, with God, which will be able to guide you which path to take. It is something like law of attraction, getting connected to the higher realm and finding out the right ways towards your life purpose. Okay, when you get connected to your higher self, you will be able to know what is the next step to take, because if you remember, action is one of the major steps of becoming a divine masculine, right? So higher self meditations are out there on YouTube, and there are many more ways of connecting to the higher self. The best obviously is meditating and calling upon your own higher self and surrendering to the higher self and saying that I really want you to take charge. Please guide me how to become one with you. Okay, so there are something like multiple realities. You can look at it as shades. Like, let's say if you think of Vibgyor, right, violet, indigo, blue and all that, if you look at them, they are different shades. But if you look within we, violet. There are multiple shades. One is the darkest, the lightest one is at the bottom. The same goes with quantum physics. If you have ever studied about quantum reality, we are living in, there is a version of us in every reality. Now, which one do you want to embody? Maybe there will be one video I'm going to make on, quantum leap and quantum jumping and, living the quantum reality, the best one of them. So, when you ask your higher self, the higher self is at the top most of the quantum reality, the best one. So, the higher self will be able to get you there. If you're not understanding higher self very well, just go and find out meditation, and maybe you can Google search more. The next thing that you really need to do is, the next thing that you can do is, you can create small rituals. Now, I'm sure a lot of us, what we tend to do when we think, oh, I'm going to change myself. So what do? We make a routine. I'm going to get up at 4 o'clock. Then 4:30, I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do yoga. Then I'm going to dance. And then I'm going to do this, meditation. And then, my God, a lot is going to be done. Guess what? It doesn't go like that. You can't change yourself overnight. But you can change a little bit. Right? Kaizen. Take little steps, baby steps. So, like you may start, for example, let me tell you, like I have these morning and night affirmations. In the morning, immediately after I get up, I have actually recorded it. I'm 62 kg and, I'm in the best of health, all these kind of things with a really bouncing music of aerobics. And at night, I have it with Om music. And when it is playing, I also am speaking simultaneously. So you can start with this, maybe a 2-minute ritual. Then maybe you can go for a 10-minute ritual. I'm going to walk every day. Only 10 minutes, but I'm going to walk. Do that for 1 month and then bring in the next ritual. Now you're thinking that I really want change ASAP. ASAP changes never happen. There is no elevator to success, right? So start with small principles. You remember, masculinity is about structuring your life. If I have to explain to you the relationship between masculine and feminine, if I ask my son to get a glass of water for me, he will have to get the water in the glass. Okay? For drinking a glass of water, I require both the glass as well as the water. The water is the feminine, the glass is the masculine. If he gets the water in his hand, it will all fall off. It's fluid. It needs the glass. And if he just gets the glass, then my thirst will not be, quenched. So the fact that is the relationship, and when you talk about masculinity, we talk about structure. It can start with small rituals. Okay. Then the next thing that I really like, and even before reading it into a book, I actually, because I'm into numerology, astrology, and there was this numerology of the Moses and all those things, wherein I read my name, my kid's name, and I realized that my younger one has one of these issues. Okay. So what I asked him to do was to take care of the plants in our house. He takes care of the plants in our house, frankly. So when he nurtures the plants, he gives water to the plants, and he's the one who goes, oh my God, Mama, there's a new flower. He feels like a nurturer. He feels like, the provider. You remember, giving is a quality of the divine masculine. Receiving is a quality of the divine feminine, by the way. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But giving is the quality of the divine masculine. That can be developed through caring. You can take care of pets. You can take care of plants. That is one thing that can develop your masculine quality, awaken the divine masculine within you. Another thing that you can do is, and this comes back to, holding the pen and paper in your hand. I'm really fond of these exercises. You can write out in the journal. Like, let's say you have a question. What should I do? Like, related to your career or, whatever, even little things. Write down the question at night or at any point of time and leave it. Next time when you are in a fresh mind, go back to the journal and start answering that question. When you are answering that question, it's being channelized through the divine energies. Many people do not know about this. How do the scientists find out the solutions? They find out the solutions when they are in a calm mind. They've already asked a question. How does this work? Like Archimedes, we have, right? He said Eureka when he found it out when he went to take a bath. He was supposed to be finding out the area of, I think, objects which do not have a proper shape. He went inside water, and when he went inside water, some water was displaced, and he realized that's the area of the leg. And he said, Eureka. Okay, so he was like so happy. So the fact that, when you are in a calm and refreshed space, then the divine energies will be channelized through you. That is how writers also write. And most of the writers are not even aware about it. So let that be answered in a calm state. Okay. Then there is the next thing, another thing that I really find very important is, which you can do through writing, through scripting, is why am I doing what I am doing? That is like making a decision, taking charge, taking responsibility. So let's say I'm a teacher. I need to ask myself, why am I teaching? Why am I a school teacher? The answer just cannot be because I need money. The answer cannot be because I could not do anything else. No, the answer has to be much wider. It has to connect to my mental, spiritual, emotional being. If it does not, it's not expansive, then I'm not doing the right thing. I need to be in a space where I feel capable. So this can actually take care of your divine masculine principle as well. And the last thing is that please begin by taking actions. The last thing that you can do is begin by taking actions. If you remember, action taking is a masculine principle. It's a masculine quality. Taking action, like smallest of actions. Okay. Now, taking action, let's say if you're not great at maths, start with doing 10 sums. Okay. Today I'm going to learn table of 5. I'm just giving example. Okay. So small action taking and then review the result. It's very important. The conscious mind requires a lot of proof. The conscious mind is like the court of justice, where you need to give proofs, only then things are proved. The subconscious mind knows it all. It's only the conscious mind, which is the parental figure, which needs all the proofs to be able to say yes and to show willpower. So start by taking small actions and looking at the results. Be cautious, be very mindful of all the results. If you want, you can write them down, because writing them down brings about manifold benefits. So these are the things that you can do, which are very simple, and you can choose from maybe the easiest one of them and move on to the more difficult ones and find out a solution to your procrastination, laziness, and absolutely any problems related to structure, stability, confidence. All these problems can be solved if you take these kind of actions. I hope you liked the video today. Please do subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and also do comment if you really felt that there was value. And I would really request if you could share the content with others who really need it, because there are many people who do not think on these lines. That's it for today. Signing off, Arunima. Thank you so much.